do this one with no problem.
Yeah, sort of hoovers through that, as now DuDu, slice and dicing, acting all cool. Does have to flash to get the stun here onto Rich, but that closes the gap, and Rich just walks it off. Yep, there's the form change for the extra movement speed. Pyosik, if he can get the snipe, might be able to get something going. Doesn't have the ulti though, and I don't think he's going to be able to find too much. Rich actually electing to go away from the turret, away from the crocodile, and he's just dead even though he flashed.
Oh, that feels...
I'd say there's a little bit to be... So as we do have multiple people rotating over, my god, that phosphorus bomb did so much work. Andil has to flash, and Jiwoo, I don't think he's going to be able to get that one as he's down to sub 100 health. The barrier, beautifully done, walks out of the way of the phosphorus bomb, as there it is, Jiwoo able to get that last hit. And actually, it wasn't him. It was the Karma that secures the kill, and so therefore Andil dies for it. As now Willa in his bottom lane control. It's certainly something that they can make happen, as Ucal wandering down, but is taking a little bit of damage as he does so. Willa has his ultimate, and so even though he's at half health, he's probably still fine.
Now the top laner with TP, so it's just a 4v4 for this objective.
Yep. Rich is going back to base, or is at least considering it for the moment. As Pyosik going to try and make this a 50-50 as G throws a Slurkle in. There's the Destiny, as that is going to be Double Dragon secured by DRX. And down will go Clozer without too much of anything happening. As Pyosik gets himself out of the way, Magnet Storm comes through, pulls them in, and now Pyosik's popping off. Willa goes down, deokdam gets a double, and Ucal running for the hills. Basically got 1.5 legs, whereas the rest of them have all got 4. Especially, you know, that's assuming Peter's wearing the pants. That's all right. It's a weird sentence. Never mind, we're fighting over a red buff here, as the briefcases are really starting to hurt. Willa moving forward, Clozer getting flanked, and there is the gold card. Flash over from Willa to try and lock down Pyosik. Meanwhile, there's a fight on the other side. Jiwoo flashes over the wall to take down the Rel, and now deokdam is in a lot of trouble. Pyosik goes untargetable, but there's the dash, and the Ruin comes on through to take down the Corki. Pyosik has to get out of there, and another gold card comes on around. But that gravity well, a lot of value. Can Willa go where he pleases? That's the question, and as Mondo, generally yes, but...
Okay, how did Peter die? Oh, I see it now.
All right, yeah, you'll die if you do that. Yeah, okay.
Oh my God. Isn't a great feeling.
There's a flash from Peter, this time looking to try and take down Ucal, as he is able to get that gold card out. Slice dice from DuDu, gets into the Dominus, and that should be a dead Ucal. However, he does get himself out, as Pyosik is the one that has to come in and save the day. deokdam finally shows up. Oh, let's have a look at the same play again, as this time it's on to Andil. He takes a lot of damage, but Willa, he's so healthy, and there's the flash hammer from Rich to try and take down Peter. The bottom lane is now dead, and Gate into the back line. Ucal trying to get even more as Jiwoo utilizing the ultimate so beautifully to make sure that there is no victor left on this map either. And DRX, they really, really like Silver Scrapes. Like, this organization, they love that song, and they're looking for even more.
That, but I feel like Witted is more into the new age tennis players.
Yeah, it's true. He did recently watch the Australian Open, though, so a bit of Australian Open history is probably for the best. As Clozer not being here would also be for the best, as he's booped back towards Ucal and eliminated.
He definitely isn't there anymore.
No. And DRX are now going to start pushing here in this mid lane. Should be able to do so pretty comfortably, but the rest of DNS are able to get on over here.
Oh, Clozer's going to actualize a second. We expected to see some more of this.
It's a bit cheaper on this patch, right?
Yeah, so expect to see more of this from the Aegis. Unfortunately, it won't help.
All right, Jiwoo is just going to walk up to Peter and try and hit him. He just magnets walks away. They take down Ucal, as now Andil's also dead. But now Rich brings that hammer down, and even though there's the Dominus, DuDu has to flash out of the way, as Willa with the flash briefcase to snipe the Renekton and get another kill for Jiwoo, who finds the Slurkle, gets the Valkyrie, and deokdam is going to have to blast cone his way out. Jiwoo, I don't think, yeah, he's going to flash for it. Never you mind. I thought, no, he'll hold on to that because he might want it in the next fight. No! Oh.
Very late to the Dragon. It's only third for DRX, but it's still a heavy blow if they can secure it.
And Willa is just packing that lunchbox over and over again. Rich, possibly in a difficult position here off to the side, as DNS just going to brute force, walk their way into this river and look to try and take down this Dragon. They know that they need to deny this soul point, as DRX in position. That's a great shock blast onto deokdam, but not doing a massive amount of damage right now, as Willa tries to get the smite, doesn't find it, but now the damage just massive out of DRX as they pull in Peter. The Arcane Storm doing a little bit of work here, but DRX still want more. as Jiwoo has to dash his way out of there.
So him flashing for that kill, being flashed us for that is perhaps not the right decision.
Oh, yeah, we are destinying our way forward.
Flashing that down for Clozer.
Yeah, actually turning it onto DuDu here is Ucal actually doing a fair bit of damage. Rich comes on forward, lays down the hammer. Now they're looking for even more. Jiwoo just loves pressing R. Well, now Ucal throws out a gold card and then walks very far away. Rapid fire cannon certainly helping him here, but that bleed doing some work onto the Twisted Fate as Jiwoo just going to start up this dragon, teleport in from DuDu. DNS not wanting to give this one up as gold card to try and catch him. He slices forward. Not sure about that one because he doesn't have access to the dice, but now they're looking for it as Jiwoo is surrounded. They're able to take him down, and now the DPS is just missing. Willer is going to be the next one to be targeted. Pyosik takes him out, and somehow it worked. DNS will be able to pick up Soul Point here. Triple Infernal.
They should have damage to get this down before anyone from DRX can really move in. They're going to look for some poke, though. We'll see if they can force him off. A Shock Blast hits only Peter.
Yeah, and Peter does take a fair bit of damage there as gold card comes through onto Clozer, but it's not really doing damage as Andil taking the Crocodile for a walk. That's always dangerous as Peter's just dead, but he's just trying to buy some space. That is Pyosik taking down the Baron, and Baron for one, you'll take that.
Yep, I like the setup as well. They are collapsing on them.
Let's see whether this actually works for DRX as Ucal. He's got a gold card and a dream. He manages to lock down Clozer's Jiwoo. Massive damage. As now that Arc of Ruin just slow down Peter. Arcane Storm in the choke point is dangerous and they jump on top of Rich. But Willer's right there, deokdam! I don't know about that one, buddy, but he trades his life for the Jace. Maybe that works, but Jiwoo's still alive and Clozer, he is not. He eats a Slurkle and he dies for a double kill for Jiwoo. And DuDu, he doesn't want any of this silliness. He's in the top lane.
Okay, deokdam needs to chill a little bit.
Never used that as a verb. It's a weird one. It's all right. DuDu on a flank angle as well. Oh my goodness, is he going to do it again? That is the question. Let's see how safe Jiwoo can be as he looks to try and turn it. Magnetstorm doesn't connect onto the Inara, but DuDu flashes for it. He just doesn't have enough. The rest of the team are not there as they take down Rich, but he's not the priority target. If Jiwoo flashes into them, then it might work out, but he does get himself out of there. deokdam doesn't find the fast bomb, and Willer is just walking at him. Flashes over the top. deokdam finally finds it, though, as now Andil is fighting.
She gets him!
Pyosik finds the reset, goes into the GA, and Ucal, the last man standing against all of these tiny health bars. Can he get enough? That is the question. As the Cinder on the ground, he wants to pick up Pyosik, but he can go untargetable, so he eats it. The sidestep's not enough, and down he will go. That's an ace, and that is a
CC.
Yeah,
that this composition have is that stun card. Other than like the Tether, or like the Jace E. They're relying on the stun card, it just does nothing to this Naafiri.
And with Infernal now, they just have so much damage. Another fight is broken out here as now Rich fighting Peter on the offside as Willer has to throw down the ulti. That's going to help him out though as his health bar is massive, and now the rest of DRX are just going to turn onto Peter and he's dead. Now DNS down their metal horse pants lady.
Yeah, getting a little messy here. A little split up in that fight.
Are we still singing Silver Scrapes, DRX? That's the question. As Pyosik, he can do that all day. That's all right. DRX wanting to get themselves a Baron, and I am a little bit worried about their prospects. As Willer now with ulti down is not quite as durable as now Ucal looking for a gold card onto another target, but it runs out, and so deokdam dives on top of him. He has to flash into the back of the Baron pit and then just dies, and so that is now the TF down. Now Pyosik goes in, goes on target. He's got so much value out of that ability, and he manages to get out. Now DuDu gets into the mix, but he goes down immediately. Kited out, but Rich is going to be cleaning up. deokdam with the cleanup as now Andil. Jiwoo taking matters into his own hands, but deokdam just barely survives, and it's a double for Clozer. Now Pyosik turns back up. How are they getting away with this?
The crazy play from DNS
is 9-0-10.
Look how low the health bars are. Jiwoo trying to find the fight, but he can't pull it off, and DNS clean up all of DRX.
Oh man, and at 36 minutes, Infernal Soul in hand, there is 18 seconds on this Twisted Fate. I think DNS have done it. I think this is the 3-1, and DRX, I mean, they were singing Silver Scrapes. And now it all falls apart. The Nexus, the last one in their LCK Cup run, will be going down, and Peter will stand in the way to stop Ucal from watching. And there it is, DNS will